love is gone, that your love is gone.
Namjoon was everything one could wish to become. Namjoon was everything one would want in an alpha. Young, sharp-witted, successful. The leader of Onyx's pack and the possessor of the entire Dongjak territory. All that at the age of 26. Now one would expect an alpha who has everything and anything to be a stereotypical, stoic arsehole. But that's not what Namjoon chose to be. He chose to be a humble, down-to-earth person instead. Chose to be kind of an adorable man. Chose to be the I love talking to frogs and I am friend with the plants and I believe in destiny and I am saving myself from my fated mate and oh god, I haven't met them, but I think I love them already kind of person. Out of all things Alpha Kim Namjoon could have been, he chose to become a walking, talking aesthetic. A clumsy man who loves to flash his dimples at everyone he comes across throughout the day. A sweet, sweet man who loves to romanticize everything. From nature to books, a darling man who had achieved everything except for a darling mate and was waiting. Namjoon honestly doesn't mind waiting. Never did. Not if it's for his mate. Even though he daydreams of them with heart eyes all the time. He dreams of reading books together, holding hands even inside the house, late night walks when they can't fall asleep, sneaking butterfly kisses when no one is watching just to be a little adventurous. He dreams of sleeping in Saturday mornings, cuddling in their bedroom. He dreams of getting up early Sunday mornings just so he can fix his mate a nice breakfast in bed. He dreams of a cliché, too good to be true kind of romance, so much that he believes he is already in love. There's no other explanation to a grown man blushing in the garden alone in broad daylight other than him being stupid in love with his mate that he is yet to stumble across. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! He could scream just imagining it. He wonders how it'll feel when he sees his mate for the first time. Will the universe stop? Will the sun go a little cold? Will the stars get a little brighter? Will time slow down for a second so minute that no one notices? How would it feel? He can't wait to see, can't wait to feel. All he knows is that it's going to be the most beautiful moment he has lived so far and Namjoon can't wait. No. All of Namjoon's instincts clawed at his insides, tearing him to shreds, to bits, to pieces. A part of his mind is in denial. Another one is concerned beyond belief, staggering with anxiousness and trepidation. Another one filled with rage, overflowing with the urge to rip apart everything and everyone who comes in his way. This is not how it was supposed to go. This was supposed to be a simple, small mission. Like ones they go on often, like once 3 months to fix any ups and downs that appear in the territory. This one, however, was an out-of-territory mission. They don't usually do those, but this one was about a bunch of rogues who lived outside the border, but dropped by once, then twice, to terrorize the people of Dongjak, robbed a few valuables from the market. And that was utterly unacceptable. No one was allowed to mess with Namjoon's people. No one was allowed to snatch their belongings. He might be a nice man, but he can kill when he has to. So him and the main family members of the pack decided to pay a visit to these rogues at their base in the forest where rarely people are ever spotted. Taking down the alphas outside the old, deserted-looking house was not a big deal and Namjoon was pretty sure not much of them are left inside, but upon entering the house, he felt so frozen he could barely move. It felt like a slap across his face, raw and hard. It felt like a bucket of cold, icy water splashed on him. It felt like the earth cracking open and the sky descending to his shoulders and Namjoon forgot how to move when a bitter, pungent smell invades his nostrils, assaulted his entire respiratory system with how acrid it felt. The scent was bad. But the worst thing about it was, Namjoon could tell right after smelling it, he could feel it, that it was the scent of his mate. He could smell his mate. He could feel his mate. For the first time ever. Here, at the base of vandalizing criminal rogues. No. Is his mate a wretched alpha? Namjoon doesn't care if they're an alpha but a scoundrel at that. Someone who tyrannized ordinary people. Someone who caused disruption in the peaceful system of his land. No. Namjoon refuses to accept. They must have their reasons, he tries to justify. I am no one to judge. not without hearing them out first. I am not the one to jump to conclusions, not before. June, what are you doing? Move. Yoongi's voice makes Namjoon snap, and he realizes that he's the only one who's thrown off because no one else could feel his mate. Namjoon gulps dryly, tightening his grip around his dagger that he held for defense, and well, occasional offense but mostly defense. There's no one on the ground floor. Let's go check upstairs. Yoongi scurries to the stairs first. Namjoon needs a second to gather himself before he follows. And God, soon as he does, the scent gets sharper, so much thicker that it almost suffocates him. But what makes his heartbeat pick a violent speed is the faint tinge of horror in the scent, a trace of panic, a lots of pain, and it only gets stronger as Namjoon continues to climb. No. Are they hurt? In pain? Namjoon's heart clenches. It hurts. Are they scared? Why? You go check the room, I'll go check that way. Yoongi says and continues to walk cautiously. Namjoon obeys, not because of what Yoongi suggested, but because the scent of his mate is coming from one of the rooms. He ignores everything else and just follows it. He walks first, then picks up a pace. He's running by the time his body slams into the door to open it, and he realizes that he was panicking so bad because of how anxious the scent had started to smell. As if the emotions of his mate seeped right into him. The door opens and Namjoon feels like he just entered another world. A dark, grim world that he has never experienced before. Because one of the two alphas in there is laughing and the other is crouching down, a knife in his hand, and there's a small, frail, rattling frame of a boy curled on the floor beside them. Chained to the wall, withering, whimpering and crying so quietly that it breaks Namjoon's heart to unfathomable amount of pieces. Namjoon feels like sobbing and screaming and destroying this whole place. He feels like torturing the two scums and killing them so painfully slow that they'd wish to never be born again once he realizes that his mate is not some scoundrel alpha, but the Omega boy on the floor. No. Try resisting again and I'll break the other one too. The one who's crouching sneers and traces the blade on the Omega's bare shin and Namjoon's blood boils. The poor soul cries out ever so softly and Namjoon begins to see red. It happens all too quickly. The crouching alpha is pulled back harshly, his head is slammed against the wall across the room, and he's unconscious. Skull cracked open and bleeding. Namjoon barely registers his own body action before the other on is also down, limp and away from the Omega boy. And for a moment Namjoon is contemplating assaulting the unconscious forms with his bare hands to vent out. But the thought is abandoned as soon as he hears a strangled sound of alarm. He drops everything. Every idea, every thought. Even his dagger as he runs to the boy, breath held in, and falls to his knees beside his maltreated body. There's nothing but a big, long tunic covering it. Even if there are any pants, they're short enough to fall within the hem of the ragged, torn shirt. Before, Namjoon had only noticed the feet. His attention falls to the arms this time. Arms that are hugging his own chest impossibly tight in a protective manner. Though they did little to actually protect him. They have cuts on them. Small, big, gashes, old, fresh. Everywhere, there's bruises, rough and unforgiving and green. His hands have brutal bite marks, some scabbing, some bleeding. A collar around his neck to protect his intimate glands, but all of the exposed, sensitive part shoulders to collarbone littered with canine marks. The boy's head is tucked low and out of sight. The chances of his face being visible low, even if it wasn't because the hair's too long, tangled, tousled, looking unhygienic. The boy's condition looks very poor overall, in every aspect: hygiene, dressing, physique, health. God, he was too thin, too small, and chained to the wall like a fucking animal. Namjoon's breath hitches. This boy is his mate. This boy is the fucking love of his life that Namjoon has always been waiting for. This boy, who Namjoon doesn't know what happened to, but can tell a few things just by the look of it. No. Oh my God, no. Namjoon's hands hover over the body, everywhere, not knowing where to touch. He breathes heavily, letting out ragged huffs as he hears the clatter of the Omega's teeth getting louder and louder. He doesn't even seem to have noticed that his assaulters have long been thrown off of him. He's just so innately scared that Namjoon wants to cry. He does. Only one tear though, chest heaving and clenching and gut twisting like he's about to throw it up. Hey, Namjoon whispers, so softly. So gently that it's almost inaudible, but he's afraid he might break what's left of the boy if he speaks any louder. If he touches carelessly, if he's not cautious enough. Hey, he doesn't even know what to say, how to. June, we're all done. It's Yoongi. He walks in from behind, stopping at what he sees. What the fuck? Namjoon hears him curse under his breath. Who's that? Stupid question on Yoongi's behalf. How is Namjoon supposed to know a boy they found during a raid? But it's just that Namjoon actually knew, even though he wasn't supposed to. And that's making a mess out of now because he doesn't know how to comfort the Omega. His instincts tell him to scoop the boy against his chest, kiss him everywhere till he melts into sleep where he can't feel pain. Another part of him, overly rational, tells him to not touch. Tells him to make sure first if the battered boy is okay with being touched. It doesn't seem like he has had the best experience with alphas, and Namjoon being impulsive might make the matter worse. Mate? Namjoon whispers brokenly, looking over his shoulder at Yoongi, pleading for help. He's my mate. There's a second of silence. Oh shit. Color leaves Yoongi's face and shit. This is bad. I'll go get Hoseok. Cover him up a little, it's cold. And the chain. Get rid of the chain first. Yoongi leaves too. In hindsight, Namjoon is thankful for the instructions. He really didn't know what to do, but now he's clumsily pulling off his thick, woolen overall to very gently drop it over the boy before moving to his foot where the chain is. It doesn't look good. Looks horrendous. The foot is already swollen and discolored. The chain digging into it relentlessly to make it bleed doesn't help the sigh. Make it quick, Namjoon tells himself as he tugs at the chain with shaky hands hard, breaking it from where it attached itself with the metal anklet holding the boy's leg. There's a pain noise. Nothing else. The boy curls on himself more. He makes himself smaller, pushes himself into the corner. And Namjoon can't help it anymore. He just wants to comfort this boy so bad, his instincts clawing at him to do so. Namjoon listens. He places his hand ever so slowly on the Omega's forearm. Hey, it's okay, he says. You're okay. The touch does little to comfort because, and no, next thing he hears is a cracked, small whisper, then a fearful yelp of trepidation. And no. And suddenly, the boy begins to thrash. He pushes Namjoon's hand, swats it away. He removes his hands from where they sit to thrash around his arms. He thrashes around his legs. He does it vigorously and mindlessly enough to hurt himself because that's the only way he knows to protect himself. It's a painful sight. He accidentally hits his abused foot against the old wall and cries out a wretched cry. The movements never stop. He doesn't stop. He wants to protect himself against the violating hands of these alphas. Wants to keep them off for just a second longer. Hey, Namjoon panics when he sees the boy hitting his bad foot against the wall twice. The Omega is hyperventilating, unaware of his surroundings, and so out of it, he almost seems to be living in a reality different from Namjoon's. Namjoon gathers the boy in his arms this time. Stop, he says, voice shaking. Another tear falls from his eyes. Then another. Stop, please. You'll hurt yourself. The boy tries to hit him with his limbs, but they're too weak to do harm. He scratches at the man's shirt with his nails, chanting, Sorry, puppy please, I'm sorry. Breath, my darling. Instincts. He lets them take total control and releases calming, soothing alpha pheromones. He leaks his scent profusely to mask any other that might be causing his Omega distress. Hush. He continues to hold the boy in his arms who gradually go limp because of the pheromone. He's putty against Namjoon's chest now, not struggling, only heaving for breath. I'm so sorry, my love. I didn't mean to startle you. It's all right. You're gonna be all right now. The Omega whines in response, shifting against his chest. Namjoon can tell that his body is sedated by the force of instincts, but not really relaxed. He's distressed, still unable to grasp the situation properly. They're all gone now. Namjoon tries to inform, not even sure if the boy is listening or understanding. They're all gone. You're safe now. Another droning whine before the boy peeks up. Unnoticeably, as if he's trying to look without making any eyes look at him. But Namjoon notices. Namjoon notices every tiny movement, every soft noise, every wound on his body. Namjoon notices too much at once, and now he feels numb. He just wants to cry for this boy till he can't anymore. Namjoon always wondered how it might feel when he sees his mate for the first time. He fantasized it to be fairy tale-ish and all, just like in cozy romance books. But no. It felt like getting caught by a bear trap in the middle of a relaxing forest run. It felt like having his fingernails ripped off by force. It felt like cactuses in his throat and nauseous waves in his gut. It felt like a cage too small around his big, thumping heart, like a hammer pounding his head. It felt like every painful thing in the world, and it left Namjoon pained. Briefly, his eyes meet those of the boy. Namjoon shoots him a reassuring smile, or tries to at least. But there are no dimples this time. His eyes are wet and so are his lashes. His lips are quivering when he sees the pretty little face for the very first time. Lips chapped and split, bleeding, cheekbones hollow and bruised. It's hard to tell the complexion of his face because every spot is either adorned with dust or a wound. And my God, his eyes. Big. Too big. Like a doe's. Heartbreakingly beautiful and innocent, looking at Namjoon only for half a second before looking back down in fear. There are tear tracks on his cheeks, Namjoon notices, and unfallen tears in his eyes. So many of them that Namjoon is sure his vision is thoroughly blurred. One of the many tears fall and the boy releases a quiet sniffle, his nose scrunching briefly in a way that makes Namjoon feel so protective that he wants to poke out the eyeballs of every single person who dared to even do as much as look at his mate. Here, it's Yoongi's voice again. Hoseok, Seokjin, Jimin and Taehyung entering the room alongside him. The Omega tenses a little in Namjoon's arms as he senses a new presence. Then another on, and another. More. 3 alphas, 2 betas. No. The boy shivers, daring to look up at Namjoon again. His eyes this time filled with dread and pleas. I'm scared. They're screaming. Please help me. Namjoon doesn't know how. Please. The boy chokes out, a hand coming up to bunch Namjoon's shirt in it. Blood and dirt dirties Namjoon's clothes, but he doesn't notice. Doesn't care. Please, and no. Please. Please, oh, one at a time. Please. The floor feels like lava and Namjoon feels like he's burning when he hears that. His mate's voice is so low and incoherent that he has to strain ears to catch it. Please, I'm so sorry. I beg you. Please. Namjoon's hand impulsively and mindlessly places itself against the Omega's mouth to shut him up. The tip of 4 fingers only, gently, because Namjoon isn't sure what he'll do if the boy continues to speak. He might kill someone or he might kill himself. But when Jungkook flinches harshly at the contact, Namjoon's eyes widen and he retracts his hand quickly. Sorry. He sputters quickly, helplessly watching tears of sheer fear fall from the boy's eyes profusely. He must have scared the boy more. Stupid him. I'm sorry. We won't do that. His tongue feels like it's lapped with acid when he says the words. We won't do anything like that to you. Never. This looks bad. Taehyung comments, hovering over Namjoon's crouching figure to see. Hoseok gets down beside the head alpha to inspect the wounded boy, who only trembles more as the rest also begin to gather around. He makes himself impossibly small and Namjoon shoots the rest a glare. Space, he says, and it doesn't take more than the blink of an eye for everyone to realize the extent of complication of the situation. They all step back. Only Hoseok stays. June The pack herbalist says calmly, let me see. Hyung. Namjoon murmurs, unwilling to let go. Hoseok shoots him a pointed look. Namjoon knows it's for the good of the boy. So he slowly starts to uncoil an arm, whispers, be careful with him, Hyung. Please. The Omega, however, shakes his little head violently and sobs. No, he lets out a wet sob, pushing himself harder against Namjoon. Hosok flinches at the outburst and the flow of Namjoon's pheromones gets thicker. Hyung, can we take him back first? Namjoon questions, torn, his arms wrapping themselves back round the boy protectively. Hosok sighs. I have to check if he needs immediate first aid. Namjoon you know how it goes. He's traumatized, Hyung. He can't even tell what's happening. Let's please take him back first, we're scaring him. With the Omega in his arms, Namjoon get up. He tries to keep the boy's face tucked between his neck and shoulder, closes to the scent glands as he carries him bridal style. Tell if it hurts somewhere, baby, he says and turns to the rest. Let's return.